Awesome. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your 10 a.m. Force prep class. Again, my classes are never really what's completely described on the list. Force prep today, we are just going to be working on some functional movement patterns in our force tests that are easily simulated at home. But before we get started, I'm just going to read our disclosure. In response to COVID-19, PSP is offering telefitness to Canadian Armed Forces members. By using social media platforms, the telefitness classes tailored to Canadian Armed Forces personnel become accessible to all. Prior to participating in this session and to make an informed decision on whether you should seek advice from a qualified exercise professional or healthcare provider, consult the Get Active questionnaire of the Canadian Society of Exercise Physiology and its reference document. By continuing with this telefitness class, you understand that there is a possibility of physical injury, and you agree that you do so voluntarily at your own risk. You assume all risk of injury and agree to release the Canadian Armed Forces Morale and Welfare Services from any and all claims related to your participation in this telefitness video. Good morning, Jess and Erica. Thank you for your comments. So, for equipment today, sorry, my voice is really bad today. For equipment, you do just need a towel, a yoga mat, and a band. If you do not have a band, that's not an issue. You can do all the movements. Without them, they'll just be very, very low intensity. So we will get started. We are going to start in a standing position, so you can make your way over towards your mat and your equipment if you aren't already there. All right, so it does look like you can see me quite well. Just to warm up, we are just going to do a few movements. Our theme today is going to be 7 reps. We are going to do 7 reps of every warm-up movement, every learning movement, and then when we get to our work component, I'll explain how that's going to work. So just to get started, you're just going to rock onto your toes and then back onto your heels. Try to pause in each position. There's 2 reps. 3, 4, just warming up our calves, our feet, and our ankles. 5, 6, and 7. Good. So next one, you're going to stand about feet hip width apart. You're going to take one leg. You're going to step forward, plant that foot, ensure your toes nice and straight. You're just going to kind of rock into it, lift your back heel off the ground, press some weight into your toes like you're taking a big step, and then rock back. Switch sides, rock forward, and back. There's 1 per side, going for 2. Going for 3. Again, make sure your toes nice and straight. Here's 4. Going for 5. 6. And 7. Last one per side. Good, all right. Next movement, we're going to warm up our low back and our hamstrings. So again, we're going to step forward. This time your toes are going to be pointed straight up. You're just going to hinge down, sink into that back leg. Let your arms fall heavy. Slowly come back up. Again, 7 per side, so we'll switch sides. Slowly back up. Going for 2. Starting 3. Starting 4. Starting 5. Starting 6. And starting our last one here, here's 7. Good. Next one we are going to do is you're just going to bring your knee up to your chest, pause, pull it up as tall as you can, drop it back down. Again, we're doing 7 per side. Finished 1, going for 2. Here's 3. Starting 4. starting 5, starting 6, and starting 7. Good, switching to our quads. So the front of our legs here, just grab your ankle behind your back, reach up towards the ceiling, pause, drop that leg, switch sides. There's 1 complete, go in for 2. Going for 3. Going for 4. Going for 5. Going for 6. And 7. Good. We're going to do another hinge type movement, so bending over, because there is a lot of bending over in our force test. So you're going to start with your feet about hip width apart, maybe a little wider if you need to, toes pointed straight ahead. We're going to put our hands up by our ears, not reefing on our neck or clenching our ears, just nice and light. Slight bend in the knees, you're just going to strictly hinge. Forward, sending your hips back, stop at a flat back, bring it back up. Going for 2. Nice and slow on the way up. Going for 3. Good. Going for 4. And going for 5. Starting 6. And last one, 7. Good. Going into our lunge position. So 1 leg back, knee flat on the ground. You can just relax that back foot. Other leg is going to be having the knees stacked over the heel, toe pointed straight ahead. You're going to plant both hands on either side of that foot. And I'm just going to rock into that front foot. Try to keep your heel planted the whole time. Knee will go past the toe, that's fine. Just make sure it's tracking over and not flaring side to side. We're just going to pause, rock back a little bit. You can shift your hands and then lean back into that foot. There's 2. Rock it back. Going for 3. Rock it back. You will feel a nice big stretch in your calf. There's 4. 5. 6. And last one for this leg, 7. Good, we'll switch sides. Same exact position, toes pointed straight. Back leg is relaxed, knee on the floor, hands on either side of that foot. Lean into that leg. Knees going past the toes, heels stays on the ground. Then rock it back. Going for 2. Rock it back. 3. Rock it back. 4. Go back. 5. Rock it back. 6. Back, and last one, 7. Good, awesome. That's a really good one to warm up the calves, ankles, knees, and hips. Again, I don't know about you, but my calves do scream a lot when I do my force test, especially in the ILS. Next exercise. So we've done these before if you've done my videos, but one knee is going to be nice and flat on the ground. Other foot's going to go to the side. You want your toe in line with that knee. Now, today we are going to work on opening up our upper back as well with this groin rocker. So you're just going to take your hands, place them in front of you, about 180 degrees at the armpit. So reach up nice and wide. Then you're just going to sit your hips back towards your heel and rock it forward again. So there's 1, going for 2. Rock it back up, going for 3. back up, going for 4, back up, going for 5, bring it back up, going for 6, bring it back up, last one, going for 7. Good, nice and slow, walk those hands back in, bring that knee back in, we'll switch sides. All we're doing, opening up the hip, getting a little bit of quad action in front of our legs, and again, that upper back. So again, toes up, in line with that knee, foot's flat, knees on the ground. You can relax that back foot, reach out to that 180 degrees of the armpit, and sit back onto that ankle, rock it back up. There's 1, going for 2, back up, going for 3, back up, 4, bring it back up, going for 5, back up, going for 6, bring it back up, going for 7, and back up. Walk those hands back in, bring that foot back. We're going to get into our table top position just for some T-spine work. So again, in our force test, we do rotation, picking up sandbags, shifting. That's all part of our T-spine as well. So again, in our tabletop here, wrists under our shoulders, knees under our hips. Relax your feet. You're going to get down onto your elbows. So just from this position, shift right down, just like so. So hands, elbows. Your right elbow is going to stay flat on the ground. Left hand's going to come up by your ear. All you're going to do is with this hand by the ear, you're just going to rotate up towards the ceiling, chicken wing, and rotate back down. So there's 1, bring it back up for 2, back down, up for 3, back down, up for 4, bring it back down, up for 5, back down, up for 6, bring it back down, last one, up for 7. Good, just bring it back up, shake it out, and we'll switch sides. So again, starting wrists under our shoulders, knees under our hips, drop right down to those elbows. Left elbow this time will stay down, right hand's up by your ears, and you're going to rotate up towards the ceiling and back down. There's 1, going for 2. Back down, up for 3. Bring it back down, up for 4. Back down, up for 5. Back down, up for 6. Back down, and up for 7. Back down. Good. Just shake it out. Rotate your shoulders. 1 more warm-up movement. So you're just going to lay down onto your yoga mat, or if you have a towel, that's perfectly fine. You can start in the lay down position. I'm going to start from seated, but again, it's up to you. So if you're starting from seated, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. If you're starting from a lay down, you're going to have your knees up to your chest. What we're going to do is we're just going to rock along our spine, just like so. Go ahead and do 7 at your own pace. Pausing once you get up to a seated or your other start position. Nice and slow. All we're doing is we're just loosening up our entire back. A little bit of emphasis on our lower back. It's also a good stretch, keeping your knees up at your chest. Now I have 1 more. Good. Once you finish those reps, you can bring it back to a standing position. Grab some water if you need it. If you find yourself a little stiff today, again, just take things at your own pace. You don't have to follow my count. My count's more or less there for myself. All right, so first movement we're going to talk about today is our squat patterns. We all know our perfect squat, starting with our feet in line with our hips, maybe go wider if you need to. Toes can point out or in. Basically what I'm saying is a squat's all about your body. Today for our force test purposes, if you have a band, go ahead and just loop your band so you're standing on half of it, like so. If you don't have a band, that's fine. Just go ahead and get into your squatting position for start. Now from here, you're just going to grab onto your band so there's a little bit of tension when you stand up with it. We're going to start in this nice standing position. We're just going to mimic a sandbag lift. So from our squat here, with our hands, we're going to pretend this is our sandbag. We're just going to squat right down, touch the ground, back up, stand. Let's go ahead and do 6 more. So again, squat down, touch, back up, stand. Going for 3, squat, touch, back up, stand. Going for 4, squat, touch, back up, stand. Good. Here's 5. When you stand, make sure you're squeezing your glutes together, quads are nice and strong, push your weight into your heels. Going for 6. And last one. Here's 7. Good. So there's our squat movement today. Next thing we're going to do is our hinge. So our deadlift, I mentioned we do a lot of that in the force test. If you have a band, you're going to start in this exact same position. If you don't, again, just get into your hip width apart stance. If you have your band, drop this loose piece on the ground. Take the piece that you're stepping on, pull it up so there's a little bit of slack. Now you want to start with the band halfway between your ankles and your knees, grabbing it like so. So again, I'm in my hinge, halfway between my knees and my ankles, grabbing the band so that's nice and firm. From here, with a slight bend in your knees, you're going to stand all the way up, clench your glutes, shoulders rolled back, core is engaged, and then nice and slow, return to the start position, just like a deadlift. Let's go for 2, bring it back up, slowly lower. 3, up nice and tall, slowly lower. Up for 4, nice and tall, slowly lower. 5, slowly lower. 6, slowly lower. Last one, up for 7, and slowly lower. Good. Go ahead and drop that band, push it to the side. Next one, we're going to do our lunge. It's a little different than our slider lunge that I taught during the 1 power hour if you tuned in. You just need your towel. You're going to place your towel under one foot. I'm going to start with my right foot. And you're going to get into your starting position. So starting position again is feet approximately hip width apart. Slight bend in the knee. You can see the towel is under my foot. And from this part, you can have your hands on your shoulders, heads crossed. I'm just going to keep them up in front of me. You're going to take that slider foot, lunge back. Once you get into your lunge position here, drop that knee as low as you want. Try not to slam it on the floor. Bring it back up. Slide it back in. So again, slide back. Here's our beginner lunge. Dip down, back up, slide back. Let's go for 3. Step back, dip, up, return. Here's 4. Step back, dip, up, return. Going for 5, step back, dip, up, return. Going for 6, slide back, dip, up, return, and last one, slide back, dip, up, return. Good, we'll switch sides. So again, towels under that foot, starting position, feet hip width apart, have your arms wherever they're comfortable. And again, slide back, dip, up, return. There's 1, here's 2, slide back, dip, up, return. Going for 3, slide back, dip, up, return. Going for 4, slide back, dip, up, return. 5, slide back, dip, up, return. Going for 6, so back, dip, up, return, and last one, slide back, dip, up, return. Good. Towels off to the side. Our next movement, going into our twist. I'm just folding my mat in half for extra padding on my knee. Feel free to do the same. We're going to get into our groin rocker position, so one knee's going to be bent, other foot out on that angle, just like so. We're just going to place our hands together. Now you're going to start on the outside of this planted knee, going into a wood chop. You're going to twist over top that slanted leg, try to get as far back as you can, and bring it back down. There's 1, going for 2, up, squeeze, back down. Going for 3, up, squeeze, back down. Going for 4, up, squeeze, back down. Simulating throwing a sandbag over a shoulder. Up for 5, back down. Going for 6, back down. Last one, 7, and back down. Good. Switch sides. So again, groin rocker position, knees planted, foot's in line, hands clasped. Starting on that planted side, twist it over as much as we can. Twist over towards that slanted side, and slowly bring it back down. There's 1, going for 2. Back down. Going for 3. Back down. 4. Back down. 5. Back down. 6. Back down, last one, 7. And back down. Good. Shake it out if you need to. Next one we're going to do is our push movement. Feel free to do a regular push-up. I'm going to do a very weird one today. We're going to start in tabletop position. Wrists under our shoulders, knees under our hips. You can relax your feet or put your toes under. That's completely up to you. Now from here, keeping our elbows in as close as we can. Just going to drop your chin towards the floor. Let your hips go up and bring them back up. So there's 1, going for 2. Lower down, nice and slow, elbows in, and back up. Going for 3. Back up, ensure your core is nice and tight. Going for 4. Bring it back up. Going for 5. Up nice and tall. Going for 6. Back up. And 7. Back up. Good. Shake it out if you need to. We are going to go back into a standing position, grabbing our bands if we have one. If you do not, you're just going to do a regular shrug, pulling your shoulders up, rolling back, and back down. If you have your band, just go ahead and step on it like we did with the squats and the deadlifts. Grab your band this time so it's on the outside of your thigh. Put as much tension on that band by grabbing lower as you want. Roll your shoulders down and back for our start position. Slight bend in the knee for all standing exercise. Now what we're going to do, we're going to roll our shoulders up towards our ears and then press them back down. So there's one, going for 2. Back down. Going for 3. Back down. Going for 4. Bring it back down. 5. Back down. Going for 6. Back down. Last one. 7. Back down. Believe it or not, as simple as a shrug is, it's very important, especially if you're doing a farmer carry of any kind or lifting. You want that good shoulder retraction, so pulling it back. So those are our exercises today. There's our learn period. Grab some water if you need it. We'll go into our work segment and then we will stretch. For our work segment, we're going to do 30 seconds on, 15 seconds off, just one time for each exercise, and then we will stretch. If you want to go ahead and do more when I'm finishing this video, feel free, but this is just how the circuit is going to go. So again, our first exercise is that squat, then our hinge, then we'll do our lunge, twist, push, pull. The 15 seconds rest is honestly just your transition into the next exercise. So we will start with our bands for our sandbag lift or our squat. Go ahead and get into your starting position here. Time starts in 3, 2, 1, go. Pull it up. We're going to squat down, touch, bring it back up, stand. Try to do as many as you can, or you can go nice and slow, whatever works for you. 10 seconds left. 2, 1, done. Good. Next one is that deadlift. So again, drop that loose part. Pull up on the tight part that you're stepping on. Get into your deadlift starting position. Going in 3, 2, 1, go. So again, pulling up onto our deadlift, squeezing at the top, slowly lower back down. Still doing as many as you can in our 30 seconds, or going nice and slow, working on activation. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Next one again is our lunge. We're going to do 30 seconds per side. So really doing 2 rounds of the lunge. Starting position, going in, 2, 1, go. Slide back, dip, up, return. Get as many as you can in that 30 seconds, or focus on the activation. 10 seconds left. 2, 1, good. Switch sides, 15 seconds rest. So really focus on your lunge, keeping your chest up nice and tall. That's why I keep my hands up at my chest. Help protect your lower back. Going in 2, 1, go. Slide, dip, up, return. seconds. 2, 1, relax. Good. Going on to our twist. Getting in your groin rocker, start position. Knee down, foot out in line. Hands clasped, that bottom leg. Going in 2, 1, go. Twist up and back down. Really focus on squeezing your core as tight as you can. Glutes are activated, so we're not wobbling or swinging. 10 seconds. 2, 1, relax. 15 seconds rest and we will switch sides. So again, knee down, foot's in line, legs slanted, clasp the hands, bottom knee. Going in 2, 1, go. Twist up and over and back down. Ten seconds left. 3, 2, 1, relax. 15 seconds rest. We'll go into our weird push-up, or again, you can do regular push-ups, completely up to you. Starting in tabletop, wrists under our shoulders, knees under our hips. Going in, 3, 2, 1, go. Drop it down, hips up, bring it back up. Try to keep those elbows in nice and close. You're dropping your chin straight down. 10 seconds. 2, 1, relax. 15 seconds. Getting ready for our last exercise, our shrugs. So again, feet shoulder width apart, slight bend in the knee. Pull up on that band for some tension. Shoulders pulled down back, going in 2, 1, go. Roll them up, squeeze, back down. Really try to pull them down back. You press down there as far away from your ears as possible. Three, 2, 1, relax. Shake it out, grab some water. And again, if you want to do a couple more rounds, please feel free. Maybe do them later, but we will stretch. All right, staying standing straight up at first for our stretching here. Just a nice relaxed position. You're gonna take one arm, place it behind your back, try to pull it across with the other one, just like so. Drop your ear towards the assisted arm, shoulder. And just try to create as much distance between your shoulder and your ear as you can. Nice and slow release, switch side. So again, arm goes back, assisting arm pulls, drop that ear. Nice and slow release. Good. 1 foot forward, toe up, just like we did in warm-up, except we're going to hold, so drop down into that back leg, straight, front leg, chest is still up, try to get as low as you can. Nice and slow, bring it back up, switch sides. Nice and slow. Bring it back up. One big step forward. Use your mat to support your knee if you need to. Into our lunge position here. We're going to rock forward. Keep your chest up tall. Try to push that back hip forward as far as you can. And you can keep your arms down on your leg for now, or you can lift them above your head, whichever is better for you. Staying on the same leg, we'll do a second stretch. Again, just like warm up, drop your hands on either side of that front foot. Lean into that front leg. Knees go past your toes. Stretch out that calf. Slowly bring it back up. Again, we will switch sides. So again, into our lunge position. Lean into that back hip, so it's pushing forward as far as you can. Rock slightly into that front leg. And again, relax your arms or lift them above your head. Staying in the same position, we'll do our calf stretch. Plant your hands. Lean into that front leg. Knees can go past your toes. Heel stays down. Slowly bring it back up. Bring it into a kneeling position, so both knees on the ground. Sit back onto your heels. We're just going to walk our hands out in front of us as far as they go into our child's pose. Drop your chest and your head down and relax. Slowly bring it back up. As always, if you need to do any extra stretching, please feel free. Feel free at any time to comment for us to do more stretches. Inbox us. I know myself and Jamie have our separate PSP accounts. We are here to help for anything you guys need to do. Jess is going to do her force prep class today at 3. Tune in. I know it's going to be a good one. My name's Kaitlyn. We're in Wainwright, and I will see you for next week's class. Thank you for tuning in.